Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It's the second video from in here, and it's Thursday, May 1st, 2025, and the second queen has emerged. So I'm going to go ahead and get her out and put her into one of our little release cages. So I'll get you a shot of her. And one thing I read about keeping virgin queens in cages, and it says to keep them between 75 and 80 degrees, and this incubator is set to 93. So if they're in here for a long time at that higher temperature, that's probably hard on them, and that may have been why a couple of mine died before. But anyway, got this queen here, and she looks pretty healthy. So, and the cell in the top here kept her from getting out. So in this roller style cage, and in the bottom there, you can see a little bit, that kind of yellow, there is some honey, and I did put water in there too for when she emerged. So she did emerge either last night or while I was at work today. So let's get her in a cage with the candy. So I'm going to, instead of going through trying to find a queenless hive and all that, like I did last night, man, that was an ordeal. I'm just going to pull a split, and I'm going to pull it out of probably hive 39 or 40. That's the only two hives that I've not been in that I actually pulled some brood out of them to make my other splits. So, and those are typically pretty strong hives. They might be full of swarm cells right now for all I know, but let's get in there and check on those. So get my candy going here. Let's see, that got kind of dried out. And I'm just going to use a used queen cage. So this is just a slow release cage. And I got my queen candy that I made here using Fat Bee Mann's recipe. So it's basically K-Rose syrup and powdered sugar. And I'll do that after I get the queen in there. Wow, she's a nice looking one. So if you stick their head in that hole and get it going, they'll just walk right in there. No big deal. Take this candy and just push a little plug in there. Oops, it fell inside. Well, that's no bueno. Now she's trying to come out. Back up. Beep, beep, beep. There, that's a little better. All right, let's get down there and pull our split, and we'll get her installed. Let's see how much, I'm curious how much food she had left. She was doing okay. Most of the honey's left. Looks like most of the water's gone, but that may have just evaporated. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of water on the side of her cage just in case she needs some water. She doesn't seem interested in it. She's probably a little traumatized. All right, let's go. There's her queen cell. So this cell was cut off of a piece of plastic foundation. See where she emerged there? And I was able to get under it far enough where I didn't cut into that cell from the top. So this is the second one of two that I did that from hive 99. Get this sealed up so it don't dry out. All right. Okay, down here in the bee yard now, and behind, let's see, this is hive 39 and 40. These are the two hives that came from western Oklahoma last season, kind of at the beginning of the season. And this one here on the left, 40, is a little stronger than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get in here and see if I can find 2 frames of brood and a food frame, and then I'll put a couple of empties in with them. But kind of curious to see how they're doing. Man, the forage has not been good. It's been raining, and we got almost 4 inches. Let's see, one day, almost 3 inches yesterday. We're around 13 inches on the week. So, and it's supposed to rain again tonight. So let's see. Let's go ahead and lift this cover off and see what kind of coverage there is on this second super. Because if it's a weak hive, we may want to reduce it down. I haven't been in this since I did a queen check. That's probably back in March. And these hives are noted for their grumpiness. Not a lot of coverage up here. Just a few bees. Go ahead and get this off. And this super here is totally, well, mostly undrawn. Not many bees in there, so this hive's not very strong. Yeah, see, there's not much coverage up there. So we might have us a queenless hive here. If that's the case, we just put that queen right in here. Don't see a heck of a lot of bees right here even, so not sure what's going on. My tripod is in standing water. It looks pretty good right here. So I got bees from this frame here to right here. So it's not bad. For some reason they're just not up in that super. Bunch of these little bitty ants that aren't welcome. So here's so there's 2 of these frames I got last year on a frame exchange. And I know that because it's got one nail there. So I got these from another beekeeper that bought a couple nukes from me. So they weren't waxed at all, and they were coming apart because they weren't glued. So I glued them, and I waxed this foundation real heavy. But what I've noticed, but not on this one because they're not drawing it yet, but they're drawing wonky comb off of this foundation even when it's waxed good like that. Not all over, but sporadically. I had a hive doing that, so I don't know if it's this foundation is not good or what the deal is. But just thought I'd point that out. So foundation matters, you know. Get good stuff, get American made if you can. And I was talking to another beekeeper today. He said he bought some waxed foundation, and he didn't wax it, and he said it looked pretty good waxed, and they're drawing it out wonky on him. And I asked him where he got it, and he said Amazon. I go, well, what brand is it? And it was something I'd never heard of. And so this one, it's the same thing, and they're making a liar out of me. They're drawing it okay. But I had read somewhere that some of the Chinese wax they're putting on these frames is not beeswax at 100%. They're mixing paraffin in. So there's some drones she's laying there. So if I find that queen, I'm going to put her in a clip. I got my nuke box right here next to me. So I want 2 brood frames that has mostly capped. This one here don't look bad. But I got to make sure that queen's not on here. If I don't see her, I'm going to go ahead and set this in that nuke. And then I'm going to try and find that queen, make sure I spot her, do a positive location on her. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use this one. So these bees, they're not being mean at all right now. They're very gentle. But it's the one next to me that had the really mean genetics. So this is the last remaining nuke box in Jerome Bee Farm captivity that's not in use. So we've got pollen and capped honey on this frame too. So that's a plus for making a split. Most of the bees are gathered up on the honey. Get my queen clip here on the ready. So this hive's looking good. They just aren't up in that super yet. I'll probably checkerboard in some of these frames in here. Well, here's a nice good solid brood frame as well. Yeah, this one's even better. There's no larvae, it's all capped. This is perfect. So it'll really boost that split when all these emerge. So what I could do, instead of putting a food frame, I could put the one of those Sericel nuke feeders on top of this syrup feeder and just let them eat from that. I think that's what I'll do. I do want to see if I can spot that queen though, just so I'd have a good feeling about this. This is a fresh drawn out, and there are larvae in here and a few drones again. I don't know that she's failing. I think she's just intending to lay drones. And this is all laid up with eggs. She's been on here recently laying on this. If I find her, I'm going to get her marked. I'll mark her last year's color, which she might be 2 years old. It's a nice brood frame there. No swarm cells. It's a good thing. So we do know this is queen right because I did find eggs. Here's a beautiful food frame. It's got nectar, pollen. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in that split. So a lot of these here are field bees, and they're going to go back to the original hive. And that's okay because I got a bunch of nurse bees on these other two frames, and also have all that capped brood that's going to be future nurse bees. So I'll put two old comb drawn frames in here. Let's continue in this and find our queen. There's more food here, more pollen, and so we're not hurting them any. Taking that food frame. There's some larvae. Oh, I really want to find her. Nice frame there. Almost full capped brood. This frame here is almost all larvae. Looks like she might be starting to lay right in there. A lot of bees down in this bottom part. It's a good forage day too, so you know there's a lot of them not even here. Empty cup. I'm not using smoke here, so I don't want to run my queen off hiding. All liquid. I'm going to swap out these brood frames for these undrawn ones up in the top. I'm done hunting for the queen. I gave up, so I'm going to get these bees out of the way. So I'm going to give them one frame that's a free comb, and they can put whatever they want. They will usually put drone on this, so I'm going to put it on the outside. I'll put ND for drone 25, and these are reconditioned frames that I punched out the old comb, put in new foundation, and waxed it myself. I think that's some white right cell that I had that I bought quite a while back from Mann Lake. Box of probably 100. Let's see, I'm going to put this between those brood frames. So if it'll stop raining here in the month of May, nectar flow ought to kick in strong. And up through first couple 3 weeks of June even. All right, so I want to get back in this nuke over here and double check for that queen. So I haven't closed that one up over there yet, just in case I do find her. From the looks of these top frames, and I saw the eggs in the top, I would say she was in the top. I just didn't spot her. And those queens out there from western Oklahoma, those native bees, they're kind of a tiger butt looking queen, and they're hard to spot. For me, they are anyways. And there's not so many bees on this frame that I can't, see well. I am very certain she's not right here in front of me. Now this side's a different story. There's a bunch on this side. No queen on that frame. I'm 99% certain. So these bees on this brood frame, they're not going to like that queen at first, but then they'll figure out they're queenless, and she's going to be in that cage, so she'll be protected, and they'll figure out that she's all they got, unless they want to start pulling some emergency cells out of here, which I'm not seeing any very young larvae or eggs that they could even do that with. But man, you never know. They always find one somewhere when you don't want them to. I think we're good. So let's carry this around to, I think it's number 9. Got a big stack of boxes on there where I've been saving them. And I've also got some old brood frame I'm storing there until it's, for a while, because you can't leave it there long. Wax moth is going to get it. Get this one covered up. Okay, it's number 9. Just got 2 there. Well, there are a bunch of the big old carpenter ants in here. So I raised the lids up and gave them the torch treatment. Yeah, that's old, but that's good. 2017 frames. Set them aside. Get this out of the way. Ah, look at them all. Okay, just left a little bitty hole for them there so they can defend them carpenter ants. Those carpenter ants, you might have thought that's cruel to kill them like that, but they will take out a little hive like this quick. They'll go in and they'll actually grab larvae in the cell, drag them out and carry them off to feed to their young. But they'd been trying to nest in there. That's what they were doing before. Yeah, those bees can come and go right there just fine. So most of those field bees that was on that food frame, they're going to go back to the original hive over there. But all those nurse bees will stay with that brood right there. So let's get our queen in here. So here's my special queen carrying bag that I got at the North America Honeybee Expo. Make sure she's still in the cage. Yeah. And I did order me a queen carrying box that holds 20 of these little cages. And I didn't break it out just for this one queen. But you can put nurse bees in there and all that jazz. I'll try and put a link to it below the one I got. You can check it out if I remember. Let's see, I want to use a little bit of smoke here. So I don't want these bees to all be flying. And I want them to kind of get confused with the smell of their old queen being gone with this smoke. There's quite a few up on this lid because there's not, those frames aren't in here yet. I'll go ahead and put one of them in there. Here's our queen with the candy. So these 2 frames here, once that queen gets mated, if she survives and does well, that'll give her empty space to lay what they don't backfill with nectar that they go collect, which a small hive like this won't collect much. And I can put a feeder on this too, if I choose to. I'm gonna leave it for a little while like this. There's enough in there to hold them over, and we're in a nectar flow. Should be. And I'm going to close this notch off. I don't want any bees to come in there or ants. So the only place they've got to defend is this little crack right there. That's where they can come and go. We'll check this in a couple days for population. Make sure it's good. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Kind of dry stuff, you know, making a split, putting a queen in. It's your basic beekeeping 101, I guess you'd say. One thing I did here that you might have noticed, I put a little board back here to make sure that's leaning a little bit to the front so water doesn't gather in here. You don't want a bunch of water in the bottom of your hive, and a lot of these are that way. But these 4x4s, you know, they warp over time and they don't stay exactly level. Not that I had them all that level to start with, but anyway, that's the end of the video. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and please subscribe if you haven't. Trying to get to 14,000 by the end of this bee season. So appreciate you subscribing. We'll catch you all on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.